Hello and welcome to this ForNAV coffee break. My name is Mark Brommel. I'm a senior product specialist at ForNAV and today I will be your presenter. As the coffee break is live, you can ask questions using the GoToWebinar question window and we will answer your questions at the end of the coffee break. So today we're going to look at how to add fields from an extension to an existing report. To demonstrate this today, I'm going to use the order confirmation report from the ForNAV report pack. But you can add fields to any report from any extension using the instructions that I'm going to show you today. Today we are not going to do any programming, no VS Code, no AL. At the end of the coffee break, I'm going to point you to resources where you can do this if you're ready to take the next step and you're up to this. But everything I'm going to show you today is no code and can be done by any power user in the system. So to demonstrate this, I'm going to go through four steps. In the first step, I'm going to explain to you the prerequisites and what I have installed in my Business Central tenant and on my computer to make this work. In step 2, I will launch the ForNAV Designer directly from the Business Central web client. And I will show you how to preview changes without saving them and impacting the users on your system. In step 3, we will find the extension fields and we will add them to the layout and see what we can make work. And in the fourth and final step, I will save my changes, actualize the changes for the users, and we will look at the result from Business Central. So let's start with the first step. Today I'm going to work on a production tenant of Business Central hosted by Microsoft. I have installed the ForNAV extension from AppSource and I have executed the step-by-step wizard from the assisted setup, which helps me to get started. I have also installed the ForNAV designer on my PC. You can download the ForNAV designer from our website, fornav.com/download. And here you have to install that on the Windows PC. And to make the demonstration work today, I have created a little extension called ForNAV Coffee Break, and this adds a couple of fields to the sales module. If you want to do the steps from this video on your own PC, you can go to our training GitHub website and download this extension and install it on your sandbox. If you want to, if you exactly want to repeat the steps from this video. So to add fields from an extension in a report with ForNAV, no programming is required, and we can do this directly in a production tenant, even while users are working in the system. And all my changes will only be saved and activated at the end. And the users that print reports during the changes will print the old version of the report. So let's start by going to Business Central. And the change that I want to do today is on the sales order confirmation. In my sales order confirmation, I've added a couple of fields. The first field is a coffee break name and an address, postcode, and a city. And I have also added a field called coffee break location code, which links to the locations in Business Central. In my lines, I have added a field called coffee break barcode. And of course, the intention of that field is to print it as a barcode on the order confirmation. So let's see what the order confirmation looks like. I'm just going to print the vanilla order confirmation that we ship with our app on AppSource. And if we look at the preview, you can see that it looks really nice. This is what you want an order confirmation to look like if you send it via PDF in a modern cloud-first world, which is partly because we support watermarks and vectorized logos. So it looks razor sharp. If we look at the order confirmation, you can see here I have a design button. I can design this report directly from the web client, but I'm not going to do that right now because in ForNAV, all of the sales documents are connected. I can change all of the sales documents at the same time by changing the sales template. And if I do that, the order confirmation gets changed, but also the order, the sales quote, the sales invoice, credit memo, and the sales shipment. So in order to change all of those reports at the same time, I'm going to go to the ForNAV setup. And in my ForNAV setup, I can go to the sales template. So this will start up the designer. And if you do this for the first time, it will prompt for your credentials. You have to key in the administrator credentials of your Business Central tenant, and this will link the designer to the tenant. And once the link is established, you can show your changes using the preview window. So if I hit preview now, you will see, since I have not done any changes, that the preview looks the same as it does on the order confirmation. The only difference is that our template is built on the sales invoice table. But it prints the sales template text. So I'm good to go with designing reports. And in the next step, we're going to see how to add the fields from the extension. So let's do that. I'm going to X out of this and find my designer. If I look at the ForNAV designer, I have here on the right side of my screen, I have two tabs, Report Explorer, that helps me navigate through my report, and I have my field list. In the field list, if I expand my header, you will see that if I scroll down a little bit, I can find my coffee break address, city, and country code. ForNAV automatically scans your Business Central system, and we automatically find the fields that you have added with extensions. So you don't have to do anything, no configuration. We automatically pick up those fields, and you can start using them immediately. So in my case, I would like to add my coffee break address to the footer of my report. So I'm going to just make the footer a little bit bigger. And I'm going to drag the existing fields to the bottom of my report. And now I'm going to drag in my coffee break address, my city, and my location code. And let's see what that looks like in a preview. So right now I haven't saved anything to the system. So the users that are printing order confirmations in the system are still printing the real version, and only me as a power user, and I'm seeing the changes that I'm currently working on. So you can see my coffee break address and my city and my location code. But this is not, of course, how I want to print an address. I would like to print an address just like it's printed right here in the top. I want the postcode and the city to be concatenated, just like we always do in Business Central. And another thing that I don't really like is the fact that my location code is in uppercase, and it's actually an abbreviation. Everybody in my company knows that West means our West warehouse, but of course my customers don't know that, and I would actually like to print a readable name instead of my location code that doesn't scream at my customers in uppercase letters, but in normal camel casing. So let's close this one again. I can actually close the whole tab. And let's see how we can do that. So first I'm going to delete the fields that I just dragged in. And here under my header, you can see that I have something called field groups. And in field groups, I can find my formatted addresses in Business Central. Out of the box in Business Central, we get the bill to address, the sell to address, and the ship to address. But since my extension is using normal address field names, it automatically detects that I have an extra address in my system, and I can just drag in the whole address, make the control a bit bigger, and going to change the text alignment to top left. And if I go into my field lookups, you can see that I can look at my coffee break location name. And coffee break location name is basically the readable name of my coffee break location code. And ForNAV can see that those fields have a relation. So we look up the fields in the correct place in Business Central, so we can start using that. So let me just drag that in and also make that a little bit bigger and see what the report looks like now. And now we should see that it actually prints an address in a normal way, and it prints the location name instead of the uppercase screaming fields. So I am at home at my local host. The nerds who are watching this video will know what this means. I think we're all working from home right now, and the warehouse is my west warehouse. So this is perfect. This is exactly what I want to see. So let's go into my next step, and the next step is I want to drag in the barcode from the lines. So this is also automatically picked up by the ForNAV designer, and I can drag this into my report, but this will not print as a barcode. It doesn't understand that this has to be a barcode. Instead, I have to do something different. I can take this source expression, and I can drag in a barcode control and connect them. But that means I have to type and copy and paste, and I'm very lazy. I don't want to do that today. I want it to be easier. So instead, I'm going to take my coffee break barcode, and I'm going to drop it again. But I'm going to press my Shift key on my keyboard, and while dropping it, and now ForNAV asks me if I want to do this as a barcode, a picture box, or if I want to add captions and headings to it. So I'm going to say that this is a barcode and make it a little bit bigger. And I can go into my properties. If I want to, I can change the symbology to another barcode. But for today, code 128 is fine. And I want to change the character set to auto-resolve my character set because it has alphanumeric characters. And let's preview the report again and see if this actually shows up as a barcode. Let's put in the correct number and preview. And now we can see that we print the ForNAV barcode in the sales line section. So we're almost good to go, but I really want to make sure that people see this address and that they know that they can get a cup of coffee here. So let's go back and add an image control. An image control allows me to embed an image in the layout of my report without having to save it into the database or into blob storage or onto a server. It's just part of my my report. So let's add the coffee break logo, do one more final preview, and now my report should show exactly like I want to show it. Very professional layout, ready to be sent via email as an attachment. And it shows very clearly that that today I'm capable of taking coffee at home. So let's go into the final step. So until this moment, the users in my production tenant are still printing the old order confirmation. All I have to do now is save the report and activate the report for my users. And the only thing I have to do in order to make that work is to hit the save button. That's all. I can close the designer now, and I can go back to my Business Central tenant, and let's go back to the first tab where I have my sales order. You can see in my sales order I have the same fields. The only difference is that I have my main warehouse instead of my west warehouse. So I'm going to print the order confirmation again, and it should inherit the design from the template and make all my reports look and feel exactly the same. And it does. So I've successfully completed my change, and now the change is activated for everybody in the system automatically. So let's recap what we did. The first thing I did is I installed ForNAV from AppSource and activated it. We used the ForNAV designer that we download from the website to make changes. We can design the report directly from the web client while everybody is working in the system and start making changes without affecting any of the users. The extension fields are picked up automatically by ForNAV. We don't have to do anything to make that work. And we're doing a preview. We can see the changes without activating them for everyone. After saving the template report, we could see that the sales reports look the same and the changes are immediately activated for everyone. So that was it. I hope you liked it. We have a few moments for Q&A. I'm going to give the floor to Jan. Jan, any questions?
Thanks, Mark. No, not so far. So while giving you, there's one coming in now. The due date is not relevant on confirmation, but on the invoice and credit memo.
Yeah. So if that is the case, there are several ways to solve that. First of all, we hide the fields that don't exist in the sales order, but you can also control the output. You can actually say that if a field should not be displayed, if your template is displayed connected to a certain source in Business Central, that you hide the value depending on where the report is printed from. So we allow a fair bit of flexibility from that perspective.
And we also have property that you can ignore if a field doesn't exist, so you don't get an error.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Good. While giving people a last chance for asking questions, let me just show you a couple of resources we have. So Mark, if you could jump to the next slide. Yes. So of course we have our website where Mark already showed the download page. On the website, apart from download, we also have a pretty extensive set of knowledge base articles describing a lot of different topics. Of course, you can download the report pack from Microsoft AppSource. And then on our YouTube channel, we have a lot of videos, and that's also where we will put up all the coffee break videos. And then, of course, you're more than welcome to email us.
Yeah. So we have one more question.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how are the changes stored? Is asked by one of the attendees, and we store the changes in a report layout. And the report layout is also the artifact that you have to back up in case you want to make sure that you don't lose any changes. So all of the changes are stored in a report layout. And of course, the best practice if you want to do this is to first make the change in the sandbox. And after you're happy, you could update your report from sandbox to production. But the goal of today was to show how easy it is to make a simple change to a report. Okay.
Good. And then the coming sessions next week, we will talk about how to change fonts, color, and so on. And the week after Easter, we will talk about some basic features on the current reports and the field lookup. But please follow on fornav.com/coffeebreak. There we will keep you updated on coming sessions. And like I said earlier, they will of course also be available on YouTube. So with that, I'd like to thank you for joining today. Thank you to you, Mark, for doing this.
You're welcome.
And have a good rest of the day.
Yep. Stay
Bye.
healthy, everyone. Bye.
Yes, definitely. Bye.